Well, hi, welcome to session 3 on how to cultivate a meaningful life. I remember right after college, I became a youth pastor, and I'd never had one, so I wasn't sure what a youth pastor did. But someone told me I should get some interns, so I got these 2 young girls, and they planned a bunch of events all summer long. It was very busy. But at the end of the summer, I remember asking them, hey, let's evaluate, what did we accomplish? And they said, well, we had all these pool parties and we ate all these snow cones. And I said, yeah, but what did it actually do? What was the meaning or purpose of it all? And they didn't have an answer, and neither did I. And quite frankly, that felt really bad. It was a bummer of a way to end a summer. And I remember at the end of that, I thought, I don't ever want to feel like that again. So the next year, I did a lot of work to get some ideas around what's the purpose of our ministry? Why do we exist under God? We reach students with the gospel of Jesus Christ. We put them in community, help them deepen in their faith so they can serve and worship with their life. These were our 5 purposes. And then as I brought on these young interns, we would put those 5 purposes on a piece of paper. Here's your purpose, because they're the purposes of our ministry under God. And then we would have them each week list all their tasks under each one of those columns. And some of the purposes naturally fit their giftings or their desires. But inevitably, they would see, but I have some things I can do every week that fit under God's call over our ministry. And I watched the most interesting thing happen. It was a totally different summer. Where the first summer we felt a little lost and a little discouraged, this summer, every week, these young people were energized. And as I watched them, I realized, oh, I see what's energizing you. You're watching the eternal touch down with the mundane. You're watching your purposes under God work its way out in your day-to-day life. And that's very encouraging. But what I've seen in life and ministry is not a lot of people experience that. They know they're busy. They're like an octopus on roller skates. Lots of movement, but at the end of the day, they wonder if any of it went forward. And I talk to so many people that they'll get to the end of a day and they go, man, I was so busy today, but what did it ultimately do? And that's a discouraging thought. Meaninglessness is difficult for any human being to handle. And the good news is we're not meant to live that way. We've been given roles under God and responsibilities to accomplish them. And that's what we've been talking about. You have a created mandate in the image of God to cultivate, create an environment where life can flourish, your life and the lives of others who are under your leadership. So how do we work that out, that eternal purposes in our everyday lives? How does eternity sync up with the wristwatch on our arm? Well, last time we looked at your titles. Under God, who are you? Husband, wife, parent, student, employee, leader. What are you? Teacher, creator? And as you come up with those lists of those titles, the next thing to do is to list out your tasks. What's everything I can mind dump out onto a piece of paper that I'm meant to do under these categories? And some of you may have a long work category and you have nothing under the role of parent or child. And that should probably change. But as you see your titles, you can pray over that and put some tasks under it. You say, if I do those things, I'm fulfilling my created intent. And that's energizing. But let me encourage you, as you do that, here's the challenge of this week. As you begin to see, here are my titles and here are these tasks, you can now begin to operate out of priority, not proximity. Out of priority, not out of proximity. Because a lot of people just do whatever's nearby. I check my phone because I'm bored. I answer an email because it's right in front. I get distracted and go into meetings. And we do a lot of stuff, but we don't know where it's moving. But if you watch the life of Jesus, he didn't do that. It's funny, I've heard people say Jesus' ministry was a ministry of interruptions. And it absolutely was not. That you see, if you read the Gospel of Mark, Jesus had some busy days. He was willing to get busy. There's one event where he healed all night long. And yet the next morning, early, while it was still dark, he went away to a quiet place and was praying there. He was meeting with his Father. And then his disciples came to him and said, hey, everyone's looking for you. The implications are, hey, they want you to kickstart healing back in town again. And Jesus says, no, I'm here to preach a message. And the miracles authenticate the message. So he moved to the next town. And he was willing to tell people, no, I know what you want from me, but I have a mission under heaven. I'm accomplishing that. And over again in his life, you'll see him tell people no. Hey, Jesus, I want to follow you, but let me bury my dad first. Let the dead bury their own dead. And he kept walking, didn't break stride. He would say no all the time. Son of David, have mercy on me. Yeah, I'll stop to have mercy on him because he knows who I am as the Messiah, and what he's asking for, mercy, is what I came to bring. And Jesus was willing to divert his time and energy, but he was never willing to abandon his priorities under God. And it's the same with you and me. As you really begin to write out, and I would challenge you to do this on a piece of paper and do it at the beginning of every week. What are my titles under God? And then list the tasks under them. Then you can start looking at your calendar and not just have a random to-do list. You can start saying, no, I have some priorities that match with my purpose under God, and they're going to be my priority in my schedule. Not just doing whatever's nearby, but doing what I'm called to do. And as you begin to look every week and you're accomplishing tasks that fit the title you've been given by your King, that's when life gets fun. So your challenge this week, see your titles, list out your tasks, and then in our final session, we'll look at how to work them out into your everyday life.